All right, this video is for real estate agents. So, I mean, if you're not one and you're watching this, that's fine, but it is still business focused, but it's gonna be tailored specifically to realtors looking to make, this will be in the title, looking to make at least an extra 100 to 200 grand in GCI in the next 12 months. And this will be the short-term version, okay? So this is gonna be the scrappy, poor leveraged, but easier way to make a predictable amount of GCI. I'm gonna do a separate video on what I would do to make same amount or even more in the long run with way more leverage, arguably less work. But if you're a newer agent, a solo agent, or someone who just is looking to get reps in and or bank on an extra 100 to 200 grand in GCI rather quickly, this video is exactly for you. And I'm gonna explain how I've done this. So again, I own Convertify. It's a marketing company, but we are an ISA service. So we're not generating any leads really right now. All we're doing is taking the leads that realtors generate and call to qualify to book them into appointments for them, so they don't have to make the calls themselves. However, in the beginning, especially for newer agents and just agents who like to get reps in, who like being on the phone and sales and that sort of thing, that's what this is for, right? So here's how I would do it. Step one would be you need data, okay? You need phone numbers and you need a dialer. Number one, get something like Mojo, it's a triple line dialer. Get something like Close CRM, close.com. It's a power dialer. I actually use that for my business. It's a great dialer, something that you could just roll through and it auto calls for you one by one. That is a great system to use. The unfortunate thing with cold calling is it is poor leverage, right? You're one-to-one. You're calling one by one. You're not able to speak to thousands of people like a marketing email, for example, or a YouTube video, which again will be a part of my long-term video. That's not what this video is for. This video is strictly based around cold calling, okay? You're just gonna have to do it. We'll get into that in a couple of minutes, but those are the tools that you're gonna need on the calling side. Second, you're gonna need a list, okay? So you're gonna need either a geo-prospecting list, a for sale by owner list, an expired list, something, and there's tons. I'm personally in Ontario, Canada. There's tons of these companies here. I know there's even more in the States, but you need to get your hands on that data. Maybe I'll link a couple in the description of this video, so just click below. You'll be able to see a couple that our current clients use. But I know, this is where it gets interesting because 90% of people watching this probably aren't gonna take this advice. Maybe even a little bit less, maybe 80% of people watching this heard cold calling and they've already clicked off the video, right? And that is totally fine. I really don't care. It doesn't make a difference to me, but I'm telling you what works, right? From a current customer point of view, I know a guy who makes an extra 350 grand a year because of the business that he built by cold calling when he started 8 years ago. It's either 8 or 9 years ago. I think it's 2016 is when he told me. And this is exactly how he built his business. It was a fucking grind in the beginning, but he is getting more or less lifetime referrals off of those leads for life now, right? Unless he really screws up, which I don't see him doing anytime soon. That's literally how he did it, was built his business by cold calling. And I recommend in the beginning 2 to 3 hour blocks per day minimum. More if you've got the time. And I mean 6 to 7 days a week too. 6 days a week, start with that so you're not absolutely running your head against a wall and burning yourself out. But 6 days a week should be more than doable. Again, if you're a newer agent or solo or you need leads, this is a great way to do this. This is so predictable. With marketing, you don't have money, right? So you can't spend on marketing. You can't hope for the best and just pixie dust. It's not gonna work that way. You need to get dirty, right? And for those in the marketing world, this is what's called guerrilla marketing, right? You're brute forcing your way to $1 million a year in GCI. I solely believe you can get to a minimum $500,000 to $1 million a year in GCI alone by just this source alone. Because we're just talking, the first transaction for the one person that you called. We're not talking about that same person buying and selling through again, their referrals. There's a whole other, list and multitude of things that we could do with these people, but I'm just telling you how to get, that way. And I would take or get enrolled in a coaching program, either watch a couple of my videos. I may not have posted them. By the time you're watching this, there may be some cold call videos on my channel at this point. I have made hundreds of thousands of these calls, right? It is extremely scary, it's really freaky in the beginning. It's nerve-wracking, I get it, right? Literally your palms are sweating. you're everything, you're super nervous, your heart's beating fast. I get it. It does freak you out. But after time, and then we're not even talking about objections yet, but over time, it becomes a system, right? And it becomes a lot of, and I'm gonna make a ton of videos on this. And I know I'm kind of just spitballing stuff here, but the point is, the easiest way to get this is just by brute fucking forcing. You can do it by literally just pushing, just trying, getting scrappy, getting your hands dirty. And a lot of agents don't do it. And this is why I recommend it, is because 80 to 90% of people already count themselves out, which leaves you way less competition, right? And you can have an ISA, you know, a soft plug here, but you can have an ISA like us do these calls for you. We prefer to work paid leads, so that's why I recommend agents make these types of their own calls in the beginning. But this is an easy system. And for the ones who answer, I'll go a step deeper here. For the ones who answer, obviously try to book for appointments. I'll give some appointment best practices in a minute. The ones that do answer and don't send an appointment but are interested in maybe speaking to you in the next 3, 6, 12, 18 months, set them on a very custom nurture drip within your system, Follow Up Boss, Sierra, Lofty, whatever the hell you're using. Set them up on a specific drip, and I use nurture, so just tag them as nurture. And then in my other video, in my long-term video, I'm gonna talk about what I would do to really nurture those people and get really personalized with them. Because again, you're calling them cold. Expect them to freak out at you. Expect them to, not like the way that you maybe approached it, but it's up to you and your sales ability to get them warmed up, to get them more comfortable with you, to make them feel, a little bit more personal to you, right? And it's just, the people that do this and just follow these simple instructions make way more money than those who don't, right? It is very simple. It's black and white. And this is why I love cold calling too, is it becomes a numbers game, right? Every 100 calls, I could typically speak with, anywhere from 20 to 30% of them. Out of those 20 to 30%, maybe half will actually be interested, maybe at some point now or the future. And then of those, another half will be interested in potentially setting a tentative appointment. And then maybe another portion of those will be firm, and so on and so forth. Our typical conversion rates on a lead like that is every 100 leads, we're booking 5 to 7 appointments on a paid lead. Cut those conversion rates in half for a list like this, for the cold call list. So every 100 leads, you could typically book 2 appointments, maybe 3 on average, if you're really, really solid and that sales ability is there. So it's like, okay, I just need 100 phone numbers, 100 people, and I'm gonna predictably get appointments. Like, that's the best part. But what a lot of people freak themselves out on is the time to actually get there, is the time spent on making those calls, which I get. There's no hiding the fact that this is gonna take time. This is gonna take, some objections, maybe even getting cussed at. Who gives a damn, dude? These people don't even know you, right? It doesn't matter. You're never gonna see these people again. If they're not interested, so say, awesome, great, goodbye. Never speak to you again. You'll never have to hear my voice again. So again, I think it's such an easy way to make an extra 6 figures, and it's not that difficult. It's all a perception thing. It's all, not to get all guru, but it is a little bit more mindset, but also I think it's mostly action. It's just the people who have never done it don't see it that way, and I don't blame them, right? If you've never made cold calls, I could see how it's extremely difficult to say, that's a scam, it doesn't work, cold calling's dead. You're coping, right? You are making excuses, because I think subconsciously that it does work. I can list off dozens of agents personally that I know, but also other hundreds on social that have built themselves this way. It's a predictable way to get business. It doesn't cost much. We're talking literally a couple $100 to get rolling here. And again, I think it's the easiest way to get rolling, get your feet wet, gets your reps in. All the side effects of this too are positive. It's not like, you're just totally going down the drain. You're able to get your reps in. You're able to build your communication skills. You're able to, especially for those who don't come from a sales background, this is such an easy way to get better as a salesperson, right? So this is what I recommend. Future videos coming up, I'm gonna show a couple of my hundreds of calls that I take to, not only to leads, I may do some to leads, but 95% of my work these days is speaking to realtors. I literally cold call realtors and, of course, pitch my services, and I have a team who does it as well for me, but I'll include that as a video, or separate videos, multiple videos. I'll include my long-term strategy. So once you start banking some GCI, putting some money away, I'm gonna show you how to really turn $1 into 4, 5, 6 from a return on ad spend perspective, and really get leverage and get people in your money working for you, right? So that's one part. Maybe just general sales skill set, maybe general business stuff. There's a ton of business insights that I see and automations that realtors aren't using, and it's like, this is like the simplest of stuff when it comes to nurturing your leads, content, talking about your personal story. Bit of a controversial one where, you know, I don't care. 95% of your social viewers don't care about your sold listings. They care more about your story, how you shouldn't be afraid to get on camera. There's a million things that I'm going to talk about here. This is probably the first video that you're seeing of mine that is more like this. All my other videos on this channel so far up until this point have been case studies of people that I've actually worked with, real legitimate brokers that I've worked with. So feel free to take a look at those. And then 2 final things. If you want to just get more information on my email list, I'm going to drop a ton of these tips in written format, but also, you know, links and videos before they go public on this channel. So you'll see it'll be either like a Google form or some type of form in the bottom. And then second, I would ask is if there's anything that I missed or anything that you would suggest to other agents, please comment it down below. I, as a longtime YouTube viewer, I'm on YouTube, you know, a lot during the day, and first thing I scroll down to is the comments. I just want to see what people are saying. People will be hugely benefited by your comments and your feedback. So again, thanks for watching. Any questions, let me know, and on to the next. Thanks.